welcome you to the final regular season edition of Rollo's Roundtable, the Coach's Corner. And Coach, first and foremost, congratulations is in order. A perfect regular season and preseason 8-0 as you head into the playoffs.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm proud of the kids. We rank our goals, and we've clicked the first one off, which was Trinity League title, and that's difficult to get. You saw the two wars that we had with both Bosco and Servite, who are going to have to probably square off against each other in the semifinals. But we've been pushing them along, and you don't have time to rest on your laurels. Who cares? It's where you finish, and what I talked to the team about yesterday is 4 games in 6 weeks. We're in the 6th week now, okay, and it's a bye week, and we gave them the day off Monday. We'll go pretty good. We had a decent practice last night, nothing to complain about. We'll hit it again tonight, tomorrow night, polish it up Friday, and then we'll give them the weekend off. We have, obviously, a lot of time to prepare for Norco, but it's a great group of kids. I've said that to so many people, but I got to keep them focused. The bottom line is, the awards are going to start coming out, and everybody's going to be patting them on the back. But see, my mentality is ratcheted up for the playoffs, and I pushed into every assistant coach I've got and talked to them about preparation and uncovering everything and studying it and be prepared for practice, and let's keep practice moving. Keep your energy up, and it's not like we're spring chickens, but it starts with me. And what I know about modern day football coaching staff is they go to the next level in playoffs. This is what we enjoy. Do or die is nothing to me, nothing to my staff. We don't think that way. We think we're doing it. But you have to convince 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are at a point right now where their academics are struggling. Let's face it. They don't have time. They don't have the normal students after school, library study, tutoring. We're out grinding. So, then they got girlfriends and they're starting to get into them. And I never see you, I would tell you what I told them yesterday, but it wouldn't go well.
You forget about these things when you're coaching,
and all of a sudden they don't really get along with their parents, and it's so there's a lot of pressure on them, and they're starting to, we weighed them in yesterday, and it wasn't bad, but we're seeing the weight drop. Some of the men that we've interviewed, they've lost 4, 5, 6, and some of them 7 pounds. So now they got it. We had to get them going back on the lessons of nutrition and more protein than whatever you eat a lot of. And then we've got to be smart. We have prepared their bodies for this moment, for this next 5, 6 weeks. That's how our training is based, and we'll bring the speed back up, and we're in a strength phase right now, which a lot of teams are probably in maintenance or whatever you want to call it, if they're even lifting. We lifted them hard the last 2 days. We'll lift them hard one more day tomorrow, but it's all calculated, it's all planned out. You know how I am, but I also look at November, man, and it's exciting. Am I sitting here? I'm praying we get the Thanksgiving vacation. That means we're in the finals. That means we're bringing the alumni back. But let's don't get ahead of ourselves.
Sure.
We got a Norco club coming at us, but we'll be ready.
Just a reminder, the Coach's Corner and Rollo's Roundtable brought to you by Hook or Crook, and this is their field blend, Lodi Reserve, available at Costco, and of course our good friends down the street, corporate headquarters right down here on Edinger. It's Bear Dynasty Paint, the #1 consumer paint in America, available at your nearby Home Depot store. And Coach, When you drive into Norco, it says Horsetown, USA,
Yeah.
and those boys are ornery and big and a little bit of piss and vinegar there.
Well, you know what? The game you watch is the big matchup, Corona Centennial and Norco, and I'll tell you what, that's a good game to watch. And that gave me a flavor of what we're going to deal with. Norco was bringing it everywhere, and they were laying the hat, and you know, it got a little bit of separation in the second half, but
hopefully they keep Toby Gerhardt out of the lineup.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the running back they got now, he's going to be a handful, and the quarterback, we have tremendous respect for him. They're a well-coached football team, really well-coached, and you know, I don't think, you know, the three stripes and it's modern day and the Santa Ana Bowl, I don't think that's going to matter to them. You know, they may ride in on horses and, you know, start shooting guns off. I don't know what they're going to do, but they'll come ready to play. But it'll be exciting. It's a perfect way to get it going.
On the bottom side of the bracket, now this is kind of unique because it's all been reseeded and reshuffled. This is the first year they've done it. And Los Alamitos and St. John Bosco, I think that's a really interesting first round.
Well, you know, the naysayers are saying, you know, Los Al was 9-1, I believe, and their reward was St. John Bosco. You know, everybody knew going in how the divisions would be picked, and you know, Ray's club is good. I've seen some video on them. They're going to be a good challenge for St. John Bosco. I don't know if they have the up front, if they can go 4 quarters, but who knows? Playoffs, all bets are off, and you and I know that somewhere in our division there could be an upset. Hopefully it's not us, but it's happened time and time again. You get caught sleeping, you get caught coming off a bye week, and things are different right now with these kids. And when I say that, it's hard for me to explain to our audience, but we've been doing this for almost a year with COVID. And we literally had 2 weeks off, and we were back at it from April 17th to May 1st. We were back at it. I can't even put together how many weeks we've done this. I think you and I spoke, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but you know, we have the possibility of playing 17 games in 10 months, and I'm watching my players for fatigue. They're still loose. I don't see a lot of fatigue in them, but there's something I can't identify. I just, you know, they spent a lot of time alone with COVID, and you know, their attention, you know, you got to work. You can't go, you know, our video says you got to keep them short and sweet or you're going to lose them. And these are things that are kind of new coming out of COVID that we've never dealt with before. But the other thing is I got a football team that sometimes I don't even know if we're going to win. And then there's some button they hit, and they get an attitude, and then all of a sudden I go, oh boy.
Well, I want to talk about that. That's a great segue into the next comment. So last week, as we were winding down the regular season, the fourth quarter, you got some of your 2s and 3s in there, and on defense, they turned it loose. You had back-to-back defensive scores.
Yeah.
That had to be exciting.
You know what? The first one was a freshman outside backer, Abdul Sanders, and
he was your service team player of the week the
yeah,
prior week.
Exactly.
So he gets rewarded.
Well, and he comes smoking off the edge and takes the quarterback. The ball pops up. RJ brings it.
Fionn Ganofo.
Yeah, thank you, because you saved me on that one. But RJ, you know what the best part though is? There's a shot of our sidelines, and they are sprinting the whole way with RJ. I mean, if it wasn't the score the way it was, we'd have got flagged, you know, for excessive. I mean, half the team had RJ, and the other half was on the freshman who made the play. But that's this chemistry, and that's this group. They work hard in practice, and my leaders are mentoring the young players. So it's a great combination. Plus, I won't lie to you, I'm sitting there going, he's back, he's back, he's back, he's back.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about 2022 in our last broadcast. Let's get 21 done the right way.
All right, tell you what, we're going to take a timeout when we come back. They always say 3 phases of the game is what makes modern day so magical. Offense, defense, and special teams. We'll have 2 special team standout players coming up next right after the break. And welcome back to Rollo's Roundtable. Kevin Turner along with place kicker Chase Meyer and our punter and holder extraordinaire, 2 seniors, Ryan DiDodo. We always talk about the 3 phases of the game. These guys have been absolutely magical this year. In fact, let's go right to Ryan DiDodo. And I'm telling you right now, I'm thinking it was the play of the year. Walk us through what happened, because that, I think, was a pivotal part of that Servite game, and I think it turned the tables. Certainly from Troy Thomas's standpoint, the head coach, he had to completely change his algorithm and the strategy because of the 2-point conversion. Walk us through what happened, and why are you wearing that thing on your arm?
All right, so pretty much what happened was our snapper, he snapped it. It was a bad snap, and I wouldn't have got it in time to put it down on the tee where he needed to be kicked for a successful kick. So I just made the split decision to just pick it up, call our play that we usually that we run, which in case of a bad snap. So I call that out.
What are you saying to alert everybody?
I'm just yelling at the top of my lungs, fire, 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 and so I hope someone hears it, and then they run out.
So Santa Ana Fire wasn't on their way when you were just to be sure, right?
No.
Certainly not in a movie theater.
Yeah. So as I'm rolling out, I'm looking for my 2 guys, either Malaki or Tai, and so I see Malaki open, so I'm running towards the sideline, just lob it to him, see him wide open, catches the ball, and then.
Now, it wasn't clear to the audience and the viewing audience at home that you were even left-handed. So there's a lot of athletes coming at you, and T-Mac had you pretty much squared up, and you had the presence to get rid of the ball. But I think what was interesting about that is, and you probably saw this, is that what Malaki did to get open. Did you see that, or did you watch it on tape?
I did not see it, no.
So he did something really smart. He was able to, I don't know if this is legal, shove the defender out of the way to free himself up, to make himself available, and you make this magical throw. Then what happened after that? Because you were out of the screen. Nobody saw what happened.
Yeah, so what happened after that is
T-Mac?
T-Mac, yeah. He finally catches up to me, gives me a little shove, and then I fall backwards, try to catch myself, and I just break my wrist.
Did you know right away that something was wrong?
I knew immediately.
Yeah, it looked,
as soon as
I
landed,
rather painful.
I knew exactly what happened.
So Chase, from your perspective, what did you see? And what did you think when things started to go awry?
So, this is something that we always prepare for, but hope we never have to use. We practice it a couple times a week. We call it fire. We've been doing it ever since the summer. And with Ryan, it's special because he's left-handed, so not many people know we'll roll out that way. Most teams will roll out the other way to the backside. So once I saw him not being able to get the snap, I saw him go up, and I was going to block backside, but they brought 3 guys from the backside, and both of them cut the corner really good like they always do. They were really close in every single PAT, every field goal. And they were pursuing him. I saw him rolling out. He was calm, collective, knew what he was going to do, and I saw him throw the ball, and I saw him go down. When I came up, I knew something was wrong with his wrist. I saw him hold it, and I knew that something was not right there.
So when the crowd went crazy, you're laying on your back. What was going through your mind when you executed the play?
Honestly, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I had no idea I completed that pass. So I was sitting on the sideline when I think Coach Bose came up to me and said that was an amazing play. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you scored those 2 points. And I'm like, what? I was confused because I didn't think I made it just because, yeah.
Talk about the relationship that you guys are kind of the yin and yang. I was talking about it like Martin and Lewis, or Penn and Teller, or Abbott and Costello. For some of the grandparents that might be watching, for some of the younger generation, maybe Penn and Teller. Now here you are in professional dress today.
Yes, sir.
And what's going on with DiDodo over here with the Travis Matthews on?
I mean, I know he has a little bit of trouble with the buttons, so I'll give him that for today. But in the future, I know I'll tie his tie for him.
Oh, nice. You're going to take care of his tie for him on professional dress day. So I ran into these two characters. I'm at the Corona Centennial. I'm scouting for the season at the Corona Centennial game, which was the scrimmage. And these two guys were just cracking me up. They're doing play-by-play. They're doing a comedy act. They're imitating Rollinson and Eric Johnson. But these guys had me in stitches. And I can't remember which one of you said, hey, can we get on the podcast? They go, hey, there's the podcast guy. And I said, you guys make a play. I guarantee it. We'll get you on the podcast. So I'm a man of my word, living up to it. Congratulations on a great season. And congratulations to both of you. And Rollinson was talking about, the coach was talking about, the academic rigors. Well, Chase, and you can look it up in the program here, greater than a 4.0 GPA. And Ryan, you're better than a 3.5. So hats off to both of you young men for upholding the tradition here, pride, poise, and courage, and doing the job in the classroom as well. So thanks a lot. Congratulations. We're going to get to Elijah Brown and Quincy Craig coming up next, but wanted to thank both you guys for stopping by. Now get back to class.
Thank you for having us.
All right,
Appreciate
Ryan
it.
DiDodo and Chase Meyer, two outstanding special team performers for this 2021 Modern Day Monarch football team. Back with more in a moment, right after this timeout. And we want to welcome you back to our final players segment here on Rollo's Roundtable, the Coach's Corner, joined right now by the quarterback Elijah Brown and the Swiss Army knife himself right here, Quincy Craig. And gentlemen, thanks for taking time out of your rigorous academic schedule to come join us here on the Coach's Corner. First of all, I want to say congratulations. Elijah Brown, ladies and gentlemen, you can look it up in the program, greater than a 4.0 GPA. And my man on the left, greater than a 3.0 GPA. And I just have to say hats off to you guys, because I don't think I got better than a 2.5. And I had that philosophy in high school, find the smartest guy in the room. And it was kind of like, when in doubt, look about. That's how I got through high school. So I know how hard it is here at Modern Day under a college prep program, and with all the rigors and the demands you have on the football field, figuring out what every defense is going to do and the playbook, you know, that Coach Kelly and Rollinson and Money have, and to install that week in and week out, folks. This is a NFL level offense here at Modern Day, and for these young men to be as academically sound as they are, it's truly amazing. So I just wanted to say to both of you, congratulations and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
So Elijah, how much time actually goes into your weekly preparation and the time outside of football to do your film study, the huddle study, the interaction you have with Coach Kelly and Rollinson and the offense to get ready and to be prepared on Friday night?
A lot of time goes into that. The more you're prepared, the easier it's going to be game night. So I just try to get in as much film, trying to know what the defense is doing and know what we're trying to do as an offense. And once that goes into play, then I feel like that's where we're mostly successful.
So give us a sense. How many hours are you spending, head down, focused on scouting report, game plan, reviewing the opponent's tape?
I couldn't really tell you. It's just it's just a feeling of like knowing that what the defense is doing, like a sense of when you're done watching it, you're just ready, pretty much. But I say maybe an hour or two. I try to get in maybe an hour or two every day.
Did you have any idea before you got to Modern Day how hard it would be to be so accomplished both in the classroom and on the football field?
I've always tried to academics is very important to me, so I've always tried to keep my grades up, and I never really, going into Modern Day, I knew that they were a great school for both football and sports, and with academics, so that was a plus too.
So when you get to college, do you have an idea of, do you want to go into business? Do you want to be in tech? Do you want to be in finance, medicine? Do you have an idea of kind of
No, actually, I really
where you
don't.
want to focus?
As of right now, I really don't. I haven't really thought about any of that stuff.
So
yet.
math or English, history. Give me your favorite.
Math.
You're good at math.
Yeah, math is my favorite.
Well, all you got to do is look at his stats, folks. 75% completion percentage, and that tells you all you need to know about his math skills. Quincy, you're on the offense side. You're a nickel defensive back. You're slot. You're receiver. You run in the diamond formation. Congratulations on the 4 touchdowns.
Thank you.
You're on all the special teams. What sort of demands are put on you to figure out what's going on defense, offense? Plus, you've got to know umpteen different positions on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm just out there having fun because, you know, I like playing. I definitely came in to modern day playing both sides of the ball, and it's just, I'm like, I want to do both. And Coach Frank was telling me you need to play on defense, and then Coach Sidney was like, you need to play on offense. You know, they're demanding a lot, but it's nothing I can't handle.
What's your favorite position?
Ooh, probably have to be, I find offense easier, but defense is pretty fun, so I have to say probably slot. Yeah.
Tell me what it's like when you get down inside the 10-yard line. You guys get in that diamond formation. You see the big hosses in front of you. Are you just licking your chops, and are you trying to read it, or is it just green light go? And what goes through your mind when you're lined up in that formation?
Well, I already know that the 2 people that I have in front of me, which are Ezra Funa and Malaki, and so they already know that it's going to be like the hole's going to be open right away. So I don't really, I would say I look for a hole, but it's just like all I should do is run it at one point. It's just going to open up.
So Elijah, you've had tremendous success in your young career. You're undefeated, 5-0 during the abbreviated season, 8-0 now, 13-0 as a freshman, sophomore. When you get up to the line of scrimmage and you survey and you're looking at matchups, you got Cooper Barkate, you've got C.J. Williams, you got Quincy in the slot, you've got Jack Wrestler on the other side, you've got Quincy somewhere going in motion, and then you've got, you know, your running backs that are just off the charts. So is it a little unfair?
I mean, what else can I ask for? Am I right? Like, you know, I have options everywhere. Any matchup is a great matchup for me to take.
So when you hand the ball off to either Ajon or Rayleek, you become a spectator at that point. How cool is it to watch, having kind of a bird's eye view of what they do as they go zoom past you?
You know, it's amazing. It kind of happens in a split second, but, you know, just watching back there, I mean, it's just a great thing to be able to witness.
Give me a sense of the relationship that you have with the big ones up front, your O-line.
You know, I mean, I try to hang out with them like as much as I can, like around school. We pretty much do everything together, so our relationship is really tight, and I feel like that's something that you really need with, especially for us being like around each other that much, and that's something you definitely need to have.
How important is that relationship with B.J. Tolo, who's calling out the pass protection, and then with all of the quick route and the timing that it takes, how important is it to have the perfect snap that comes back to you?
You know, it's definitely important. I'm relying on him to give me the ball so I can make that decision in an instant. So he's been doing a great job giving me the ball the way I needed it. So that's been really good from him.
I can't let either of you guys go without asking you about what's going on in the Pac-12. We've got a lot of migration going to the SEC, East Coast, the Southeast. Is a West Coast option, you know, in your mind? Are you open to that, or is that window of opportunity closing? Because we've got one Pac-12 team in the top 5, Oregon, and nobody else. And you've got Georgia, number 1, modern-day quarterback. Alabama, number 2, modern-day quarterback. Are you guys thinking East Coast or West Coast, or you're just open to all options at this point in time?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm open to all options. Definitely anything that's, you know, I can contribute to the team, and the school can like contribute to myself for academically wise too. But yeah, definitely open for anything.
So
West Coast, East Coast.
Cold weather, humidity, not a problem?
I say I can handle both.
All right, all right. Elijah, what about you? You thinking about it at all right now? I'm sure you're getting tons of letters, and I've seen a lot of stuff on social media. But is it a little overwhelming right now, or are you just locked in on the task at hand?
You know, I'm always kind of locked into what's happening as of right now. But college-wise, like I'm open to anywhere. That's pretty much it.
Growing up, did you have a favorite school?
Yeah, growing up, SC has been my favorite school, but that was just my dad. That was my dad's favorite, so I kind of took that. And
Q, what about you?
I have family back south, right next to Clemson, so I'd say that would be my favorite school growing up. So I go back there, visit the school, visit my family. It was pretty fun.
So maybe lining up behind DJ at some point in time.
That would be cool.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Two great academicians here and athletic marvels. It's been a pleasure calling your highlights and getting to know you guys. You've just been, one of my favorite all-time players at Mater Dei. I'd put you up there on Mount Rushmore with Matt Grutiga. Just you do it all, and I'm just marveling at your maturity well beyond your years, and I want to wish you continued success and stay healthy and just go get one win at a time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Quincy Craig right here, number 24 and number 12, Elijah Brown, your quarterback. We'll be back with some closing comments with Bruce Rollinson right after this timeout. And welcome back to the Coach's Corner, Rollo's Roundtable, for our final segment here. Coach, and just when you think it doesn't get any better or it can't get better, then you have this whole new crew of guys coming in, and they just knocked it out of the park.
You know what, Kevin? It was your brainchild, and at first I go, oh boy, we're going to put the kids on. And this last segment, both segments, I was outside. For the audience, I can watch it on a small screen. You look like you're having more fun than they are, and you're getting a little piece. And I know you're always around the kids, but not as much as me. But here, just one-on-one, it excites me, and it makes me happy when I watch you. And yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm so proud of them, and here you got two boys that Elijah walked out of an anatomy class. He's got to go catch up on what he missed, and yet he's on prime time, knowing this goes out to a lot of homes, and he just looked like okay, well, what's next? Where do I go next? So. We're going to continue this, and for the audience, we'll have more of our players up here. But they're good kids, aren't they?
Well, and Chase and DiDodo, two funny dudes. I mean, they're like Penn and Teller. They can finish each other's sentences. They got a dry sense of humor. They're witty. They're bright. They're funny, articulate.
They're kickers,
and they're really good at what they do too.
They
really good.
They walk to the beat of a different drum, and I love these two, and they're not as eccentric as some of the kickers I've had. The mad scientists that, oh my God, the ball is wet. What do I do? They're pretty cool, calm, and collected, and here's how you know they blend right in with the guys. I mean, believe it or not, I don't know if the audience, Chase, Meyer, and Ryan were in the weight room this morning at 7 o'clock. Ryan could only work on his legs, and Chase was hitting the weights hard, and he's a strong young man. And that's the commitment they make. And they're going to be on the field tonight, banging balls till probably 6 o'clock tonight. And I love. You're right. I mean, Chase Meyer's way over a 4.0, and Ryan's way up there. I think he's a 3.9 or something. But yet they're just two goofballs. I agree.
So am I one of the greatest players that he's in my Mount Rushmore, and I've been covering high school football here. I've been going to games since my sisters were cheerleaders at La Salle, going back to the earliest game I remember was probably 1969, watching Vic Paraboom and Bob Cameron. We went to the 2A championship to Barstow, and I very fond memories. So I've been watching high school football since 1969, and I think if I had to say the greatest all-time high school football player I ever watched or saw live was Matt Grudegood. And this young man next to me, Quincy Craig, has all those elements. You can put him at slot. You can line him up in the backfield. You can put him at nickel. You can return kicks. Grudegood played some quarterback. I don't know if Quincy can play quarterback, but he's one of those guys that's up there in my top 10 of all-time great modern-day football players.
And you've seen them all, and yeah, I mean, I was at a luncheon yesterday with some SC guys, and they said, who's the best one you ever coached? And I went, Matt Grudegood. And they go, wow, no hesitation, no nothing. And yeah, of course. I mean, like I told them, I said, fellas, they used to give an MVP for offense and MVP for defense in the championship game. Matt Grudegood won them both, and he was only a junior in high school. But what is you use a term all the time, a double-edged sword or something?
Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife. I love that term. And yeah, I mean, and you know what's great? Ralik was cheering for Quincy. Ajon was cheering for Quincy. You know, when we go to the Diamond and I watch him in practice, you called it. I mean, he'll come up to me and go, "What day is it?" And I go, "No, you got defensive indo today." You know, and then a couple days, I go, "No, you got to go offensive indo today," and then we might be working punt return or kickoff return, and I'll be on my way down, and I go, Quincy, we're on kickoff return. We're going into that period. He goes, down he goes to return kicks. But and you don't find that athletic ability. And the other thing that people got to remember, he was one of the members of the state qualifying state 4x100 relay team. He's got a low 10 800 meter on a solo. I wish I was built like him when I was in high school. I think he could be a swimsuit model.
Yeah.
You know, a good-looking kid that you say, all right, if my daughters were younger, here you go, marry this guy. I can't say enough about Quincy Craig. And I think the recruiters are starting to really say, well, wait a minute. You know, there's one school of thought about Quincy. He does too many things, so what's he good at? Is that hurting his recruiting? I don't believe so. I think the good schools will go, okay, let's recruit the athlete, and let's see where he fits, whether it's on the offense or defensive side.
I would recruit him just on his kickoff return skill set alone.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch that tape against Corona Centennial in the scrimmage, and his vision and the way he can set things up, the anticipation, his ability to go from the second gear and mesh it through 4, 5, and 6 and get to the top end and change direction without scrubbing speed. That's what I look for when I evaluate a return guy. He doesn't scrub speed when he changes directions, and he can go. He can take it to the house anytime.
You've just described him perfectly. And you notice teams aren't kicking to us anymore. I mean, I think, you know, Owen Carey and Jordan, they've got more kickoff returns than my two deep guys, because I also, I got Josh Hunter back there, and you saw what he did in the Servite game. Came out the back door and put us in great field position. It's a nice problem to have.
And I think you got a big one at Bosco, too.
I think. But Quincy Craig, Josh Hunter, you saw that they're just high school kids, though. And I guess what I mean by that for the people is they're good boys.
They're having, it looks like there's a genuine sense of joy. There's not a drudgery to, I mean, because you demand a lot of these young men, and so do their teachers in the classroom. And I had two kids, one at Santa Margarita and one here, as you know, and I watched my daughter and my son stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's college prep, folks, and there is no path of least resistance here. I don't care what classes you're taking. It's all college prep, and you better be committed to the process.
You know, I'll tell a quick story here. My own daughter, the same, you know. Lily was driven by academics. Your daughter, Caroline, I'll never forget. She was a freshman in high school, and I'd gone to sleep, God knows how early. And you know, I wake up, and it's like 12:45, and I see the light on in her room, and I walk in, and I go, "What are you doing?" You know, and she said, "I'm studying." And I said, "What subject?" And she goes, "Math." And I go, "Well, wait a minute." I go, "I know your math teacher. I know I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you got the highest grade in the class." And I said, "Get some sleep." And she goes, I go, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I want to keep that highest grade." And I went, "Okay, I'm out." You know, and those are the kind of kids, you know, we're both blessed with wonderful children.
We were talking about this book, and I'm not promoting this, but it's Talent's Never Enough, and I wanted to use some reference points in my preparation for today because of the way these young men practice. And we had 10-15 minutes before today's taping, before you got here, and we were talking about kind of optimization and getting 1% better, and the philosophy of practice and their approach. And I mean, and these guys, every single one of them, complacency to them is like cancer. They're wanting to get better. They have that self-drive, and I think that's in the DNA of a modern day three-striper.
And you know what, Kevin? That was my appeal to the team yesterday. Okay, don't get complacent. Okay, you haven't done anything. Okay, you're 8-0. Whoopee. And the thing I kept saying is, trust me, I've been down this road. I know how to take us to the promised land, but you got to go with me, and I'm going to still push you. And all of those things, as I was looking around the room, I could see eyes on, they want this championship, you know, and you know, selfishly, I wanted to say, get this rotten 2019 taste out of my mouth, but I'm not going to lay that on them yet. But the push is on now, and fortunately, I've got the Quincy Craigs and players like that, and we're healthy, so it's time to go. It's time to go, okay? 4 and 6. 4 games, 6 weeks, baby.
That's right. So, again, want to thank our sponsors, Hook or Crook Cellars. This is their field blend. And the first time I heard complacencies like cancer was Jeff Philly, the CEO of Bear Paint. And they have a philosophy there. It's called the Kaizen approach. And it's about continuous improvement. And that's what makes their product so great and their organization so great. They don't need to come out and invent new. They've got 100 PhDs working right down here in Santa Ana at their corporate headquarters, getting into nanotechnology to make better products. And they've been the #1 consumer paint company for 20 years. But it's the same formula, whether it's here coaching high school football or conducting my business or Healy doing his thing at Hook or Crook. Isn't it all about optimization and getting better?
I'm glad you mentioned yourself, because I've asked other people that compete against you, that respect you. Okay, why is he so successful? And it is. You can't be complacent. You know, you got to be willing to get up. We were talking about. I texted Kevin this morning at like 10 o'clock. I'd already had 2 conference calls, and I spoke to the 8th grade. Information. We had 8th graders. We had like 450 8th graders here, so they have me speak to them. And I texted Kevin at 10 o'clock, and I said, "I'm going 100 miles an hour." I go, "Who was I supposed to get on the show today?" He texts back, and he goes, "I'm going 125." And then he gave me the 4 names, and I go, "All right, but you're making more money than me."
I don't know. No, I mean, it's true. I mean, you think about my parents, you know, and people ask me, you know, and you know this, being a parent, it's like, they said, "What, you know, your kids have done well. What?" And I said, my parents had a philosophy, and I have a philosophy in business. You know, tell me who your kids' friends are, and tell me who your clients are, and tell me who your players are. That's all you need to know about your kids, is who they're hanging out with. And for me, I just try to hang around and be around championship mentality and people that want to, you know, go 100 miles an hour all day. And there's there really is no substitute. And in this book, it's, talent's never, you can, Abraham Lincoln said, talent's worth about a bucket of spit, but it's what you do with that talent.
Yeah.
I mean, how many great players have you seen come in here that aren't willing to work? And it doesn't take talent to show up on time, right? And that's where it really starts.
Yeah, exactly. Accountability, talent. Okay, you got to have leaders, and that's where you and I come in to develop leadership. And it's you get philosophical. What drives you? What drives me? Okay, I'm not driven anymore. Yeah, I hate to lose and I love to win. What drives me is I want to convert kids to what we believe in, so they're successful in their future lives, so that they go out and they apply the pride, poise, and courage to how they live their life. And when one of them calls me and tells me, Coach, I was successful because of what you taught me, yes, drank the Kool-Aid.
No, I agree. I mean, it's, to me, there's an expectation to win. I hate losing. And you just talked about that abscessed tooth. And I know that it gnaws at you, and you just, and whereas in football, you got to wait a week. Baseball, you get to go at it and go play the next day. Basketball, the same thing. But football, you develop that chip and that bad taste, and it doesn't go away, because it takes you a whole nother cycle to come back and have that extracted abscessed tooth come out. And I hope we're on our way to getting that tooth extracted. But it's one play at a time, right? I mean, it's one practice at a time.
Exactly. I tell the kids all the time, get better every play, every period, every day. And that's all you can ask of them. And if they're self-driven, they will do that. But again, that was my final appeal. And the final thing I'll say about this, I just looked at the seniors as I made my pitch yesterday, and I said, I'm turning it over to you. Your season ends in 6 weeks, hopefully. Your season could end in 2 weeks. If that doesn't motivate you to lead the younger players, they are all coming back, and so am I, okay? But I know what's motivating me, okay? The back of my mouth still feels 2019.
All right, it's the playoffs, baby.
Yep.
Coach, take us out.
You know what? Great show today. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you to our sponsors, and we'll see you out at the Bowl in 2 weeks, a week from this Friday night. Rock and roll, baby.
All right, we'll see you next time. Good luck.
Thanks, Kevin.